job market sucks and I'm tired. From dealing with ghost job postings to requiring a master's degree for an entry-level job, I'm exhausted, man. Honestly, there's just like a few things I want right now. I just want to get paid well enough to live comfortably. I want to be able to save money for other projects. I want a good work-life balance. And I want to grow creatively and professionally. I know because ultimately, I just want to go back to being my own boss full-time. So I've been at my current survival job now for like a little over 2 years. Don't get me wrong, I am grateful because it did help me leave Guam and move out here without having to save so much money. But I think I can speak for pretty much everyone that just working for any kind of corporation sucks. Because to them, at the end of the day, you're just a number. Since the day I got here, I've been looking for opportunities to just get back to working in my field, which is, media. I've been trying to get like freelance gigs and I've been applying to jobs like crazy. And the only interviews I managed to get were for like Devil Corp. Voiceover and explain what that is.
Devil Corp refers to shady sales companies that hide their door-to-door commission-only jobs behind vague job ads and confusing interviews. New hires usually work long hours and have no pay guarantee or benefits, only discovering the true nature of the job on a shadowing day. Few people ever move up, and even those who stay under the parent company's control don't really get much opportunity. Basically just scam. Big scam.
But honestly, at least there's no shortage of job offers through text message.
Let's go.
And you know what? I've gotten so desperate that I've broken one of my most important rules, which is never work for free. I think working for free is just bullshit. So at the moment, I'm just kind of doing creative stuff on the side when I'm not at my day job. And I'm just trying to get back to working as a creative full-time because it's more fulfilling, and I just think getting my foot in the door at any point, anywhere is better progress than where I'm at right now, because the job I'm at right now doesn't really open any doors for what I want to do in the future. But I'm sure I'm not the only one waiting for an opportunity the way Elon waits for external validation. So some of the better looking jobs that I applied to had skills tests as part of their applications, which is total bullshit. Actually, I take that back. It's not total bullshit. I get the need, like as a business owner, you want to screen people you're going to be giving your money to. And that part I get, but don't ask me to do like a whole ass project just to see if you might want to hire me. Like, hey, do this work that would actually cost a couple $100 and we'll think about hiring you. So the way I talk about it, I'm sure you guys already know how I feel about this stuff. I usually don't do these tests, or not really tests, but like trial projects, because they almost never pay and it's honestly kind of exploitative. But like I said, I was getting a little desperate and I did need to add something new to my portfolio. So I figured why not? So I applied for 2 jobs recently that needed me to do like trial edit. So one was a test for a job that I was applying to as a video editor for a pretty big YouTube channel. And the other one was for video editor / motion graphics for a different company, which I think both were remote work, which is why I really wanted them. The one for the YouTube channel I didn't get, which sucks because I feel like I replicated the style pretty well, but let's not get into that. So for the video editor / motion designer job, let me read you what they needed. So I got it right here. Oh, also a side note before I go forward, it didn't occur to me until later when I did some more reflecting on it, but some of these tests are probably just them looking for ideas to steal. So I wouldn't try too hard, despite that being the natural thing to do for when you want to get hired. Anyways, here's the brief for the test edit. Brand overview. AZ Coffee sells high quality, globally sourced specialty coffee. The goal is to reach a broader audience and introduce people to specialty coffee in a fun, accessible way. Service model. Works like Bright Sellers, but for coffee. Users take a quiz to receive personalized coffee recommendations, and then the key steps as shown in the video is take a simple and quick quiz, view personalized coffee recommendations, enjoy new coffee every month, and the target audience, late 20s to early 30s, urban dwellers. I know it's a real term, but I don't know, it just sounds derogatory. You urban dweller. Anyways, urban dwellers interested in cooking, traveling, and technology. Visual and style preferences, fun, dynamic, and easy to understand format. Clean black and white design with a hipster aesthetic, animated text, and a modern feel. Slogan and concept, a new world at your fingertips, highlighting the idea of exploring global coffee from home and discovering a new hobby / community. Is it better if I'll read it like this so you guys can kind of see. Additional notes. No brand guide yet. Placeholder logo needed. This was something I would enjoy doing as a passion project or a test project anyways. So I had a little fun with it. I thought it'd be a good test. since I was a bit rusty, just because I haven't had to do anything like this for a while. I've mostly been doing like ghosts and stuff. So instead of a placeholder logo, I actually just went ahead and made a logo for them. It was a quick and easy one. It's nothing crazy, but I do think it works for a test. But anyways, I ended up coming up with this video. Oh my God, look at, I'm an influencer. I'm pointing to nothing. You guys see those videos about, oh, the influencer is dead. It's all about the brand or like the founder creator something account. Maybe not. I think the algorithm's just kind of tailoring it to me. But then if you're watching me, I feel like you might have an interest in this stuff anyway. Tangent over. So yeah, came up with this. I'm a little close. Let me use this hand. Came up with this. Came up with this. By the way, I did this in about what would be the equivalent of like maybe almost one workday. And that goes from like conceptualization to doing their logo and to finishing the actual video. So less than 8 hours. And not to like blow smoke up my own ass, but I think that's pretty good.
When we're starting the video, I had to like make a quick plan and do some very rough storyboarding. I didn't really spend too much time on it because I kind of had like an idea, but usually I try to have like a reference. Like I don't keep like the storyboard in my head most of the time, but given the circumstances for this and the time constraint, I feel like it was easier to do that. I just came up with some bullet points. If I were to put those bullet points into storyboards, I guess it would look something like this. So here's a rough storyboard of what I had planned for the video. First thing was just like, I was thinking maybe the hook for the video plus a reel or a 3D hand kind of doing a swipe to get the new text coming in. And then after that, there'd be like a transition here, and then we go into the coffee quiz, just kind of place it, look at a questionnaire, and then I'll show you later how I kind of spice these up. And then after that, we go to the recommendation. One of the main things they wanted to sell was the fact that you're getting like beans from across the world. After that, we show a person drinking coffee and have the extra text they wanted to show above, which was just like something about enjoying new coffee from around the world. The second to the last scene is just kind of like hammering that home, saying enjoy this coffee from, and then a bunch of different countries, kind of swiping up, and then another transition, and the end card with the logo and their campaign slogan. I try to organize and clean up my comps a lot, especially if I know if it's gonna be like a bigger project with a lot of things in it, like a lot of moving parts.
Oh, I do really want to mention the little coffee bean transition I did. I got inspired to do that transition after watching an episode of Chowder, because I was just like, let's go watch some old because I don't know, I miss it. It's funny. And there's just like so much creativity that was like put into these older shows. Like, yeah, at the time you kind of just take the whole show like as a package. You're not able to really dissect these things, even though you could notice, because I remember when I was younger, I noticed they'd use textures on the characters, but the textures don't move, so it's kind of just like one big clipping mask. And at the time, I didn't really know how I felt about it. But now that I'm older, I'm kind of like, that's a cool creative choice that saves a lot of time and money. So that was the inspiration, which I got from their transitions, which is just like those, like it's basically time lapses, or it looks like a time lapse of food going over the screen. I did that with coffee beans.
It kind of just looks like a wall of coffee beans looping, sliding through the frame. But when I put it out on the main comp, I added posterized time to kind of give it that time-lapsey feel, because look, when you go like frame by frame, it looks like that. I could have added a bit more to it by doing some individual rotations for the beans, because I think that would have given it a little more life, but for the time I had to do this, I think it's very passable. Yeah, fun fact, this whole transition was just made off of one image that I got from, I believe, was it Pexels? Like it's just literally two comps here with Reptile on them. Because it's better to work smarter, not harder. As you can see, originally it's just 1, 2, and then I kind of flipped them to give it more of an organic look. And now it's like we have a whole wall. There's really not much keyframing. The hard work, the tedious part was just finding beans to mask individually. Because as you can see here, we have 87 layers just for one group. And then if you take a closer look, I have like 5 variants. So this is where the actual image looks like. Okay, and then I guess the next thing I want to talk about is like the vibe and the color scheme. The vibe they wanted, like they said, it was like something minimal for hipster, like kind of for a hipster crowd, like pretty much black and white mostly. And I did that, but I also wanted to add some texture. And on top of that, I didn't want to use a pure white. I went like very subtle off-white. I don't know, I feel like it adds a little something, I was supposed to just talk about the vibe and the color scheme, but I guess that's a good segue into the next section, which is kind of just refining the shots. Go into each comp here. So on their own, they kind of just look very minimal and sterile. And then this is what that first part looks like. And then notice when it's here, it's a lot more dressed up. You can probably tell better. I'll show it on the actual rendered video because it's harder to see here. But I wanted to keep it minimal, but also just give it some more, just a little bit more without losing that whole minimal feel. So what I ended up doing was just adding a vignette, added some grain, quick chromatic abrasion. You can see it a little bit on the text. It's just subtle enough to notice something's about it. And then also I added fractal noise for, I don't really know what I added this for. Oh, it's the animated part. I'm stupid. Like, I was gonna make this into a pre-comp, but I figured I didn't need to. So once I hit these scenes, I was kind of bored with the straight on orientation and I wanted to play around with it. I pre-comped them, made them into 3D layers, made it look like it was like an angle on a screen. I want to emphasize being out of focus by doing a little mosaic mask, because without it, it's, even if there's like depth of field, because it's being 3D, it's still pretty sharp. So ended up just turning on mosaic just to kind of enhance it. For like the next two comps, I use this 3D movement to transition between the scenes. I forgot to mention, but another thing I took inspiration from while watching Chowder was the texture part. I used that on the coffee bags. As you can see, the paper's texture doesn't really move, but the shape does, which I think is actually pretty cool. The last part, I figured since we opened with the coffee bean transition, we can end with it as well. So this is the part I was talking about where it's like someone's drinking coffee, coffee bean transition, freshest beans from countries, and then boom. Let's watch it one more time, just the whole thing.
Yeah, after all this, I hope you at least were entertained. If not, I hope you learned something. And I guess the moral for this one is if you're gonna do free work, make sure you're getting something out of it, even if it's just enjoyment. And also, I think it's really important to just like what you do. Come on. It's pretty easy to convince me to try and do things like this, especially if it's for like the type of niche I like, which is like coffee for one, right? But just e-commerce too. It wasn't that hard to rope me into this. I still think it's bullshit. Don't let me catch you working for free. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think, or if you have any job hunting experiences. Anyways, see you later.